bougie is a word that's usually used to exclusively insult Black women, to humble Black women, and to exclude Black women. What's wrong with a woman wanting the finer things? I just never see the concept of the negativity to that. If you don't want the finer things, that's okay. But I think it kind of walks the thin line of people can't get those finer things, so they hate on it. Even a lot of Tyler Perry's depictions of things kind of display this. This is just my humble opinion, and that's why sometimes I can't watch it, and it's a little frustrating because it implies that her having a certain level of standards, or any standards at all, is an issue. It kind of seems like they don't want Black women to have any standard. It's just like this humbling game that I'm peeping more and more as I get older, that is constantly on my screen. It's always this humbling game with the bougie Black woman, and it needs to stop.
Christ's love isn't like everybody else's love. It's not like the world's love. The world's love loves you when you do things right or when you do things with them. But as soon as you make a mistake, they take that love away. But what I've experienced with the love of Christ is that it loves first. It loves through wrongdoing. It loves when you shouldn't be loved anymore. It's unconditional. And that's the love that I believe is going to change the world and has changed me.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Micaiah. I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black and I'm back and I'm black.
Yo, Sasha here. Excuse me? Supermodels do not fly business class. Now, I'm not gonna demand a private jet, but I think Jag could at least spring for first class.
And today I am bringing you all another video as per usual. The negative portrayal of the bougie Black woman on television. And these similar traits in non-Black characters are often seen as aspirational. And I'm here to tell you there is nothing wrong with being classy and sassy. I've done a video like this a good amount of years ago, but I wanted to do like a revamped version of it because I would like to set it up. I'm more organized with my videos. I still see that a lot of people get really uncomfortable and they don't like the whole sophisticated, soft life, whatever you want to say aspect of things. But I've always liked that aspect of it. I'm like in the mixture of more like sophisticated, classy, but then I like my style to be a little bit funky, and then I like to go a little bit of tomboy. But I've been wanting to do more recently more of like a 90s upscale polished woman, and I've been liking that style on myself actually, and it feels good even now, like kind of just more there. I think it's easier to do within the winter and it's kind of harder to do within the summer. That's going to be my little task this summer, to figure out how to do it. But I love this look. I like the more polished approach to things. So before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me. And if you're new, hey, and if you're a returner, I really, truly appreciate the love. I don't take it lightly that you tune in, so I thank you for sharing this moment with me. And if you get the chance, please check out my social media platforms. My Instagram is at More of Micaiah. I'll leave you one and more. And my TikTok is at The Life of Kaya. And if you are an individual that loves an array of things and you're very diverse and all of those things may not correlate, then this is the channel for you. We do a little bit of everything over here. We have fun. We talk about serious topics. It all depends on the day. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The stereotype of the bougie Black woman, quote unquote, frequently appears negative implications due to the deep-seated societal prejudice against Black women who display confidence, ambition, and sophistication. The characterization is entrenched in historical and cultural narratives that have attempted to regulate Black identity, often confining Black women to limited roles, either as relatable and struggling or overly assertive and excessive. The negative perception of affluent Black women often arises from the discomfort that some individuals feel when they observe Black women confidently occupying positions of luxury, education, and self-confidence, without any sense of remorse. Instead of being acknowledged for their accomplishments, they may be unfairly characterized as snobbish, unapproachable, or seeking to outshine others. This phenomenon is particularly prevalent in media portrayals, where successful Black women are frequently characterized as out of touch, unkind, or insincere. In truth, identifying as quote-unquote bougie can represent a commitment to high standards, self-care, and personal success, attributes that ought to be acknowledged rather than disparaged. Television has featured several depictions of the sophisticated Black women, often navigating the delicate balance between serving as aspirational figures and being portrayed in a negative light. Hilary Banks, a character from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, is known for her fashionable appearance, privileged background, and moments of being naive, which often brings laughs. While she symbolizes wealth and luxury, she is also viewed as superficial and somewhat disconnected from everyday life. I think on top of bringing up the original character who played Hilary, it was important to also bring up Coco Jones' depiction of Hilary within the new Bel-Air and revamped version. They tend to take out the ditzy aspect of Hilary, which I did like to see, because just because you like luxury doesn't always mean that you're like this airhead and you're not intelligent. So I like that aspect that they did switch up, but the original Hilary is also fabulous as well. Whitley Gilbert, a character from a different world, is initially depicted as a spoiled Southern belle. As the narrative unfolds, she undergoes significant growth, revealing her depth and vulnerability, yet she continues to uphold her high standards, which I love. And I also wanted to mention that Whitley is a style icon. She ate down when it comes to this classy, sophisticated look. The style is for a different world. Oh my gosh, like I love her looks and I take inspiration from it all the time. In Girlfriends, Toni Childs serves as a quintessential representation of a sophisticated Black woman. She is highly ambitious, enjoys a luxurious lifestyle, and sets lofty expectations for herself and others. However, her character is frequently characterized as selfish and overly concerned with material wealth. Now, if you know me, you know I love Toni Childs. She is absolutely gorgeous and was just like the perfect representation of a dark-skinned woman on my screen. And I think her character is always painted in a negative light, and people tend to shy away from like the positive attributes she has. So I'll probably do like a completely separate video on that. Mary Jane Paul, featured in Being Mary Jane, is an accomplished journalist characterized by her beauty, wealth, and ambition. Despite her professional success, the narrative largely centers on her personal struggles, particularly in the realm of relationships. And a constant pattern that I see is a lot of women who are quote-unquote bougie, in a lot of these depictions on the television shows, they are always having some sort of relationship problems. And I don't even understand how that is. We're going to touch on Molly next. And it's like, why is that always perpetuated with their high standards? And I don't even see the standards as high all the time. It's just a certain quality of life that they want, and what's wrong with them wanting that. And these constant depictions of relationship issues makes me think, it's like, are you trying to humble them? Are you trying to say that we need to lower our standards? Are you trying to say that we shouldn't have any standards? Like, that's how it comes off to the viewer, and when you really look at these shows in a deeper way. Molly Carter epitomizes the contemporary affluent Black woman portrayed on the television series Insecure. She possesses a strong educational background, enjoys financial prosperity, and is known for her fashionable appearance. While navigating elite professional and social environments, as a successful attorney, she radiates confidence and ambition. However, her character grapples with personal challenges, particularly regarding her relationships and the ability to be vulnerable.
Bougie is a word that's usually used to exclusively insult Black women, to humble Black women, and to exclude Black women. And as I touched on previously within the video, it's always the bougie Black woman that tends to have these relationship issues. As I said before, it's like you're trying to humble her, like to bring down her standards that she wants in a man. But if she has those standards, that's her prerogative to have those standards. So like I said, I feel like it's always like this humbling contest with a lot of these individuals that are portrayed on our TV screens. It's like, you need to bring it down. You can't date a man that does this, or I don't get why it's always this issue. Like, if you really look at all these patterns, even with the new Hilary Banks with Coco Jones, it's like, she needs to bring it down. You can't date him because he's this and he's that, and he doesn't have the same status or money or class and da da da. And it's like, I'm not saying you should judge someone off of just strictly what they have and how they look on the exterior. However, if she wants a certain way of living and a certain lifestyle, that's her prerogative to have that. Not to say she can't have it in that individual. That may not be the perception she has, but if she feels like he can't meet those needs or those standards, then what is wrong with her not wanting that? And that's my issue I have as well when it comes to the relationship aspect of it, is that whatever standards she has, she's able to uphold that. If she wants a man to treat her with a certain level of poise, take her on dates, court, dine, give her flowers and all of that, what is wrong with her having those expectations? It's always just like this humbling game that I'm peeping more and more as I get older, that is constantly on my screen. It's always this humbling game with the bougie black woman, and it needs to stop. It just needs to stop. I want to just always talk about things that I always talk about, like in my everyday life or randomly with my peers and with my family. And this is one of the topics about a woman's standards and like that bougie black woman and a more put together, a more poised, a certain way of life that you want. And it's like seen as, well, you need to bring it down a notch. Like, you're here and you need to bring it down. And it's like, but why does she have to bring it down? Because even the woman who played the nanny, oh my gosh, her fits 8 down, okay? Her fits 8 down so much. Like, she is really a style icon. I have to look into who her stylist was because they got that. But she's not perceived as this like such a negative trope. It's not so negative. But if you have a black woman doing the same thing, it's seen as like, oh, you're materialistic, oh, you're bougie, oh, you need to bring it down a notch. But what's wrong with a woman wanting the finer things? I just never see the concept of the negativity to that. If you don't want the finer things, that's okay. But I think it kind of walks the thin line of people can't get those finer things, so they hate on it. And I never hated on others' success. I love when I see people flossing and glossing and doing their thing. Like, I love it. I've always had that within me, and I thank the Lord that he's given that to me. Now, there's always this negative perception that they need to lower their standards. And I think of even a lot of Tyler Perry's depictions of things kind of display this. This is just my humble opinion, and that's why sometimes I can't watch it, and it's a little frustrating because it kind of implies that her having a certain level of standards or any standards at all is an issue. I just don't understand that. Like, I never got that thought process, and I've just always naturally been more on like the classy poised side. I'm not saying I don't have fun. My little country side doesn't come out because I can't be a Southern belle, but I've always kind of been a little bit more put together, even the way I talk. Like, even one of my mom's friends, when I got in the car, she was like, your kids always sound white, or they always sound like this, but why do I have to sound white? Why can't I just be a proper person who's talking? So it's just like a lot of ignorant stuff like that, which I never got, and I still will never get to this day. And I do believe I'm not meant to understand a lot of this ignorant stuff because it would just never make any sense to me. It will never make any sense. I do see with a lot of the soft life, a lot of the classy bougie content, that gets a negative response a lot. Even this woman I love on Instagram and TikTok, she is so beautiful. I can't even think of her name right now, but I probably want to do a video on her because she says she hasn't even gotten certain sponsorships because they see certain black women just commenting so negatively at the bottom of it. So I'm not saying that there's not negative feedback from even us. I don't think it's nothing wrong for people wanting that. You can see it as materialism, but if that's something that someone wants to tap into, I don't see the crime of that. Or if someone wants to be more covered up, I don't see what's the crime of that. Like, I just don't see why that bothers people so much. If you don't want to fit into those standards, that's your prerogative to not fit into those standards. But you shouldn't bash another woman for wanting to be a little bit more upscale, maybe only wanting to wear quality clothes. That's her prerogative. We need to break down these like negative perceptions we have about the quote-unquote bougie woman. So I thank you all for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to see more of me once again. And please give me your commentary down within the comment section. I am open to hear all views, whether you agree, whether you disagree, but we can have a healthy disagreement. I do not mind people disagreeing by any means. I love the different thought processes. That's what makes us humans. I hate that everyone wants to think the same now. I love that you want to stand outside the box. I love that you want to think differently, but we can have a healthy debate, okay? A healthy debate. That's one thing about me. I'll go back and forth with my friends, my family, but we always have a healthy debate. A healthy debate. And please remember that you are loved by the one who created the universe. You have been made for such a special purpose. He knew you before you were in your mother's womb. So you are a gem, and you should be handled with care. And I'm thankful that you shared this moment with me. So I will see you all in the next video. Stay blessed, everyone.